Hey guys, good morning. I'm TJ and I'm the commercial manager for Storm2 Singapore. I am responsible for driving strategy alongside our clients across the APAC region, primarily for the FinTech market. So I have Mathias who sits in our Singapore office and he is a specialist focusing purely on the FinOps vertical. Matthias, over to you, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me here. Hi everybody, my name is Mathias, I'm from Storm2. So basically, like what TJ just mentioned, I actually specialize within the finance and operations vertical. So I only work on roles within finance and operations. So to give you a better context, right, some examples of the roles I work with are head of FP&A, chief investment officer, chief operating officer, chief financial officer, operations manager, and also like various finance business partnering roles. So apart from that, right, I think for myself, right, I've worked with many different companies across different verticals. So wealth tech, blockchain, payments, open banking, etc. And currently, I'm also working on a COO role with a blockchain crypto company that is within the final stages as well.
So Matthias, in your opinion, what do you think should be the very first hire of a FinTech startup and why?
Yeah, that's a really good question, TJ. So to answer your question, right, I wouldn't boil it down to just one hire, and here's why. So one of the main reasons why most people build companies is because they are looking to generate revenue or profit, right? So that is actually where the product engineering and sales and marketing team comes in. So these hires are the backbone of a company and are essential in terms of bringing up the product that the company is selling and being able to market and sell it in order to achieve the desired outcome for the company. So that being said, right, I think other verticals such as FinOps, finance and operations for short, are also essential for any FinTech startup, especially when the company starts to scale, but are often neglected because I guess companies are normally focusing on these other verticals, which I just mentioned as well.
So ideally, when should FinTechs be looking out for their COOs or CFO hires and why?
So ideally, I would say Series A onwards. But I think this really depends on the combination of different factors, right? Such as the funding stage of the company. Are there a lot of investors wishing out to fund for their next rounds, or other stuff such as the company's annual recurring revenue and the skill sets of the CEO and co-founders, just to name a few. So, for instance, right, if the CEO skill set is more towards the tech side of things, he or she might want to bring in a COO at an earlier stage to really help in handling the daily operations of the business. Otherwise, they would, if let's say their skill sets are more towards handling the operations, right? I think they would typically delay that towards the later stages as well.
Yeah. Right. So on average and historically speaking, how long does it take to hire a strong COO or CFO?
Probably about 3 to 4 months. If you're using a recruiter like Storm2, where we specialize in senior to C-level hires, and a way longer timeline if you're doing it internally. And this is due to a variety of reasons. So firstly, right, most C-level positions have a notice period of about 3 months. And next, the company also has to take into account other factors such as ensuring that the candidate is not only a good fit in terms of experience and what they can bring to the table, but also a good culture fit, right? As the cost of a bad hire can really backfire on the company. So other reasons would include the requirements of the role, right? Do you need a CFO with fundraising and M&A experience? And that can really narrow down the pool of suitable candidates just due to the nature of the role itself as well.
Right. With that being said, what do you think are some of the more common challenges that a FinTech faces when making their FinOps hire?
Right. So that's a really good question as well. So basically, I think some of the common challenges that FinTech will face, right, is that when a company starts to scale too quickly, and they are unable to find the right talent for the role within a short time frame due to market conditions. So on top of that, right, a FinTech company will also want to make sure they are hiring the right candidate in terms of culture fit, and also in terms of salary, right? If they're going to come from a traditional investment banking background, right, these candidates would probably be earning way more, and they would have to attract them to join with other components, right, such as equity, especially for senior level positions, and really selling more on the opportunity of the role itself. And I guess the kind of runway that the company has, whether they're looking to IPO within the next couple of years. I think these are just some examples of what these candidates are looking out for, and finding such candidates can really pose a challenge for FinTechs, right? Because they would really have to find the right candidate who's able to match what they're looking for as well.
Okay, so what does an ideal FinOps team or reporting structure look like in a FinTech company?
In terms of organizational structure, like if you're looking at operations department, there would still be a COO, and then followed by that would be like a director of ops, operations manager, operations executive, right? But I think in general, right, what I would say is that FinTech companies have a very flat culture as compared to your traditional financial industries, where there's many red tapes and reporting lines, right? So it's very easy to reach out directly to the COO if, let's say, even if I'm an operations executive, right? Because just because the culture is really flat and there's no hierarchical kind of a barrier or anything as opposed to these traditional financial industries.
Mathias, you've obviously been in the recruitment game for a while right now. What is one thing you wish your clients understood when making the FinOps hires?
I think I would really like clients to understand, right, is that based on experience, some clients only start looking out for COO or CFO roles when they have reached a certain level of skill, right? So for example, Series B onwards. And at the point of time, right, they will probably think that, hey, things are getting too out of hand right now. I need somebody to come in as a COO and CFO, right? And they will want to fill these roles urgently as the scale of the position is getting too much for the CEO or the co-founders to take, right? Because they were actually doing dual-headed roles before. So the reality, right, is that it is not easy to find the right talent and it takes time to find a suitable candidate. So inversely, right, by delaying such hires, right, this can really be detrimental to the business if they take too long to hire such headcount in terms of return on investment, as they would probably could have contributed more to the business in terms of fundraising or a better streamlining of operations, right, if they were brought in earlier. And this is something that I wish clients really understood, right, in terms of time frame, because it is not easy to hire a good COO or CFO, and they will probably want to start looking out earlier if so that they can really strive to bring the best ROI for the company.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mathias. It was definitely very insightful and awesome learning a fair bit from a subject matter expert like yourself. Definitely should have more episodes like this in time to come. And for the rest of you, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye.